Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's such a pleasure to welcome you all here. My name is Faisal J. Abbas. I'm the editor-in-chief of Al Arabiya News, the English language service of Al Arabiya News channel. As you know, as I said this morning, for those of you who were participants in the global discussions, our job at Al Arabiya English is to bridge the communication gap between this part of the world, between this troubled part of the world and the rest of the world. It is a job we take very seriously, and it is a job we couldn't do it without everybody who is here with us on this evening. I would like to also just mention one thing is it's the individual efforts of each person on our team, and there's so many members, and I'll get to thank you all individually in a second for everything that you do. That since the relaunch of Al Arabiya English 2 years ago, in November 2013, here in Dubai, we managed to grow our traffic more than threefold. We have since been quoted in almost every reputable news organization in the world, everything from the Washington Post to the New York Times to the Daily Mail to the Daily Telegraph to the Huffington Post, CNN, BBC, you name it. Why do we think this is important? Because we believe that there's a lot of problems that can be solved if we can reach an understanding. They say that an argument is 10% the actual argument and 90% the way you address it or the tone you address it. So this is why our Global Discussions Forum focuses on communication. The theme of the forum is bridging the communication gap between the Arab world and the West. And we've had fantastic seminars this morning. We've had fantastic seminars this year. And as I'm talking about, and the idea is, and of course, we do not kind of kid ourselves or assume that we can solve all the world's problems in a two-day conference. I wish this was the case, but it actually isn't. However, if we can change one person's mind or one person's perception or correct a wrong piece of information about the Arab world or the Muslim world, then we believe we've done our job. And speaking of individuals who make the difference, I have the utmost pleasure of introducing our keynote speaker for this evening. You all know Mr. Khalaf Al Habtoor. You do not need me to introduce this remarkable businessman, a person who has made it from scratch, a self-made entrepreneur, a person who I'd like to call has built half of Dubai. I can go on and talk about his bio, but it's already in your media pack. It's already online. I don't want to tell you something you don't know, but I would like to take this opportunity, if Abu Rashid allows me, to tell you about the person that I got to know on a personal level. I had the privilege of knowing on the personal level over the past 2 years. First of all, I think I realized what the key of success is. Now I know why Khalaf Al Habtoor is a successful businessman, and I don't see any people from our IT department, but if you are wondering, if you were in our IT department and you were wondering why you get emails at 7 o'clock in the morning saying something is wrong with the website, that's actually Mr. Khalaf Al Habtoor. And you know, he has, I think what makes Mr. Khalaf successful is an impeccable attention to details and the willingness to follow each detail until everything is done perfectly. And you know, some people might think this is, you know, disturbing, this is problematic, etc. But really, when I started implementing what I've learned from him, I realized there is no other way to success. If you want to succeed, you have to follow each and every step in the process to make sure you get to where you want. I got to know, and I know he does not like me or like anybody to talk about this aspect of his life, but I would also like to talk about the caring Khalaf Al Habtoor, which I got to see. A lot of the things is not reported in the media, but this man, what this man contributes in terms of charity, in terms of hospitals, in terms of helping children from all races, from all genders, from all religions, is truly remarkable. And I'm not going to continue talking about that because I do know that he does not like to talk about it. And the other thing is there's certainly few businessmen that most businessmen around the world will probably be focusing on me. However, I'm quite sure, you know, not many of you know that Mr. Khalaf spends quite a lot of his time lobbying politicians and trying to convince decision makers both in the Arab world and in the West to try to make this region a better place. And he's constantly writing to them, he's constantly meeting with them. And this is why I think we have all the privilege to have him be our keynote speaker. So without further ado, Mr. Khalaf Al Habtoor.
شكرا بروفيسور.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. To be speaking to you tonight. With everything happening around the world, your role, the media, is more important than ever. We are living in extraordinary time. We do not know our friends from our enemies. Over the past few years, the world has witnessed major changes. We have seen an increase in terrorism. Extremists are falsely using Islam as a cover. They are not Muslim, sadly. They are not Muslim. Sadly, no place on earth is safe from their actions. And this has caused the biggest cross-culture divided in the living moment. We have gone back to the Middle Age. Why? We are in the 21st century. Tolerance and respect of other religions are given. I do not know how we are going to get ourselves out of this dangerous situation. We are living in a fear of our neighbor based on their religion and their color and their skin. This is the sad truth. Unfortunately, the media is not helping matters. It is fueling the fire and winding the gap between the East and the West. Not to mention politicians who are supposed to look after their people. Instead, they are causing hatred and encouraging culture segregation. I would like to discuss a few of the most relevant articles I have published on this point. Donald Trump calls for banning Muslims from entering United States are shocking. He wants to create database to keep track of any Muslim in the United States and has called for surveillance of the mosques. Why are Muslims considered criminal? Because of their belief. Cats and dogs can enter US freely, but not Muslims. And of course, the Western media is capitalizing on it. I was asked to give the Muslim view of Trump's statement as no one else was speaking up, unfortunately. Religion should not even come to it. Islam does not need definitively, but someone had to counter Trump's disgraceful talks. I wonder, is Trump simply ignorant or realistic? I think he is both. And with the people like Trump, the media has to act responsibly and write what is true. The media should be emphasizing the point that Islam is peaceful religion. Maybe that's too boring for the audience who prefer headline full of scandals and slanders. But the truth, that is the truth. The US media initially dismissed Trump. Trump as 1-minute wonder, but still give him more airtime while ignoring the real news. Many Americans see him as embarrassment, but few are speaking up. The world, 1.7 billion Muslims are under attack by individuals aiming to be the so-called leader of the free world. I believe the American people are smarter than electing Donald Trump as their next leader. And I hope I am not proven wrong. I cannot imagine a world where Donald Trump is the President of the United States of America. But if I'm sure he would do everything within his power to ban Muslim visitors from entering his country. When I heard that Donald Trump said, I believe he would be out of the presidential race. There is a clear and present danger that he could actually make it to the White House. Even after what he said, he's still ahead in the US poll, steaming away with the 35% of the Republican vote. It seems the more vulgar and offensive he is, the more the American voter loves him. Those show that fear of Islam is dangerously on the rise. This man, who could be democratically elected, is not only attacking Islam, he is attacking the Hispanics, the African American, and other. He is isolating everyone through politics and the media. Trump has successfully exploited people's fear of the other, with the racism and bigotry being his tools of trade. Non-Muslims around the world are disgusted, and they are speaking out. Various media, commentators, and new organizations have also done the right thing, calling Trump provocate, comment, racist, and acknowledging that his policies are fueled by racism. But where is the defense from the Muslim world? I am shocked by the disturbing silence from the Muslim and the Arab leader and the business world. What is happening to us? We Muslims are the target. Our faith is under attack, but we are behaving like lamb to the slaughter. Financial gain and political aside, how can anyone of good conscience continue to do business with this person or his companies? I meant conscious. Trump's the man and Trump the brand are same thing. In any case, imagining that America can be kept safe by shutting out Muslims is wrong. And who can blame Muslim for thinking if you do not want us, then you don't deserve our money? Trump must remember that Muslim nations around the world are heavily invested in the United States. He promised to make America great again, but in fact, he is gravely damaging his nation economically with his vulgar and highly offensive talk. His policies are based on hot air, and he is attacking our great faith. I would like to strongly urge anyone doing business with Donald Trump or any of his affiliated companies to stop. And I urge the media to focus on what is important and report the facts. You have an incredible power in your hands. Do not fall prey to the game of politics. Several years ago, I launched a foundation in my name. This is another subject. The Khalaf Al Habtoor Foundation. Its mission is to promote East-West dialogue and to bridge between the East and the West and build respect and understanding between the cultures. Sadly, this task is becoming more challenging by the day because of stupidity of people like Donald Trump, who do not make things any easier. He is spreading poison and hate. It is people like Trump who are not allowing people to live in peace and harmony. I will continue to do everything in my power to break down the walls he is put up. In addition, I am planning a roundtable event with people like me from around the world. This event will focus on elevating global poverty, one of the biggest threats to our planet. This is what we should be focusing on, not wasting valuable time on Donald Trump anymore, like I wasted a lot. We need to work on realistic solution to help the poor. Our focus should be in saving humanity, irrelevant of color, race, of religion, or culture. It is not just Donald Trump who is abusing the media, creating fear and encouraging hatred of Muslims. There are others. This brings me to another article I wrote about Morton Storm. I think a lot of people knows about him, which is promoted a lot by Fox News, as the Americans call them Fox. We call it Fox. Storm co-writer a book about his life as a double agent for the CIA and Al-Qaeda, and claims to have been Muslim. I was disappointed that Fox News recently invited him to comment on the Paris attack. What an insult. A terrorist claiming to be a Muslim. He is a traitor, a liar, and has blood in his hand. Fox News should never have given him any airtime. He has no moral standard and is definitely not an authority on Islam. If Fox News wanted to learn about Islam, they should have invited a real Muslim, someone who knows and practices Islam. The media has a responsibility to report the truth and not show fabricated version to get more ratings. Terrorists and terrorism should not be given platform of air their views. The role of media is to report the news as the truth. In our frugal world, media power should be used for good, to bring people together to stamp out racism and hatred, a platform for peace and tolerance. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank you all. I thought, just to brief you, the most important and driving and dividing us is the poverty. All the world need to support, and really we have to create. We have to create an association with the West, with everybody, to help and to avoid terrorists, to avoid crime because of poor people all over the world, in Asia, Africa, Europe, Arab world, everywhere. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Barasha. Thank you for a very insightful speech, Sheikh Khalaf. Just in case a lot of people don't know why this focus on Donald Trump, Sheikh Khalaf actually wrote on Arabiya English a few months ago, endorsing Donald Trump, as describing him as the breath of fresh air, and then recently criticizing him and withdrawing this endorsement. Let's check out this small video just to kind of catch up on what happened since, and we see how an article that was published on Arabiya English by Sheikh Khalaf went all the way across the world. Or not.
In many ways, Khalaf Al Habtoor is Dubai's answer to Donald Trump. A self-made man, head of a multi-billion-dollar property empire, he's outspoken and proud of his achievements. How much are you responsible for, would you say, of building it?
A lot, maybe more than 50%.
A few months ago, he viewed Trump as presidential material, but not anymore.
I view him as the biggest enemy of Islam. He is a man supporting ISIS we have common enemy, the world, us as a Muslim, is ISIS. And Trump now encouraging them, this is what ISIS want to hear.
Habtoor says he is in no way anti-American. His office is adorned with artwork of Abraham Lincoln, and he received an honorary degree from Illinois College. For him, this is about overstepping the mark.
You're a developer of scale. I mean, an $18 billion company. Would you work with Donald Trump?
No, not me. I don't trust him. I don't trust him anymore.
Habtoor showed me a letter he says he received a month ago from Ivanka Trump, thanking him for his public support for her father back in August, support which has now vanished.
Just 8 months ago, Ivanka came here to outline an ambitious strategy to use Dubai, the more liberal emirate, as a gateway for the Trump organization into the oil and gas-rich states of Saudi Arabia and Qatar. It appears that master plan may be put into jeopardy by her father's latest divisive comments.
Trump's primary partner in Dubai, Damac Properties, where the Trump organization has a golf course, is standing by him, saying it did not want to mix business with internal U.S. politics. But cracks in Trump's overseas business adventure are beginning to surface. The CEO of Lifestyle, a home decor chain based in Dubai, said, in light of the recent statements made by the presidential candidate in the U.S. media, we have suspended sale of all products from the Trump home decor range, meaning Lifestyle is pulling Trump out of 195 stores in the region and beyond. Habtoor believes it won't be the last to desert Trump here or in the wider Muslim market of 1.6 billion people.
I think he damaged all his brand in all the Muslim countries. I mean, nobody will accept him. Nobody will accept his brand in any country. Remember that.
And Habtoor's future plans, including this $3.5 billion project, seem unlikely to include a certain Donald Trump. John Defterius, CNN, Dubai.
Well, I think that quite rightly explains it, Mr. Khalaf, and I think in your speech you've made your positions quite clear why you reversed your endorsement to Donald Trump. But allow me to, in this case, be quite literally the devil's advocate. Surely the practices of some Muslims around the world must be held accountable. I mean, fair enough, what Donald Trump might be saying might be preposterous, might be wrong, might be stereotyping a whole religion, but surely the acts of some Muslims themselves must be held accountable for part of this problem.
Yes, I agree. I mean, I wrote an article about Britain, for example. Britain is inviting a lot of Muslim, and they call it human right and democracy. I mean, they were recruiting a member for Daesh from Oxford Street, and I was shocked, nobody is grabbing these criminals. And they say because of human right, and there is no law or constitution to grab them from the street. And that was really very bad. I mean, the problem, most of the people who's fighting with ISIS, of course they are covered by a Muslim religion, but they are coming from the West. Very few maybe from our area here, when there. I mean, I cannot confirm, but there is few maybe, but not a lot like the West. I mean, no doubt these people damaged the name of Islam, but they don't represent 1.7 billion. There are a few of them criminal and everywhere. I mean, like Oklahoma. In Oklahoma, the terrorist, one person who killed more than 200 or 300 FBI people. But we cannot pinpoint, we say Christian is criminals. We said that person a criminal. We didn't pinpoint for that white boy who killed 13 or 17 or 19 African American on the church. We didn't say the Christian, they are criminals. We believe, we are Muslim, we believe in Jesus Christ, we believe in Moses, we believe in all messengers and prophet of God. This is why this is, important to us. We don't differentiate between Prophet Muhammad and Jesus Christ. To us, all our prophet and messenger of God. This is the most important. I mean, we are not permitted religiously in the Quran or in the Islam to say any insult to any of the prophet or messenger of God. But these criminals everywhere, they don't have identity, whether they are Muslim or Christian or Jewish or Hindus or Buddhists or what. They are criminal. Therefore, I mean, really, we should not pinpoint to a person who say he is Muslim or Christian, that he is criminal, he is terrorist. Therefore, we have to lift the religion from his. I mean, if you see Daesh, for example, they are taking the flag black and written with La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, Karram Allah, La ilaha illallah. They are criminal. They are, I mean, Islam is a peace. Islam, I mean, when you enter to somewhere, the word you say, Assalamu alaikum. Salam, peace upon you. Sorry.
Thank you, Sheikh Khalaf. Quite rightly so, as you pointed out in your speech, poverty, or economical conditions, is a major contributor to the radicalization of a lot of youth who are joining organizations such as ISIS and Al-Qaeda, etc. Now, you've spoken a bit about an initiative that you're going to be spearheading to help eliminate poverty. We've noticed throughout the past year and a half, many rich businessmen in the region and globally either donating their whole wealth or large chunks of it to ending poverty. And I wanted to check with you, what are your plans in terms of ridding the world of poverty? And more importantly, Sheikh Khalaf, it's not enough to say, I'm going to donate certain millions or certain $1 billion or certain whatever amount to, etc. How do we run these poverty eradication systems or programs as efficiently as you run your businesses?
Well, unfortunately, I mean, I haven't seen an Arab, unfortunately, I can say, or Muslim donated as much as, for example, I can salute the Americans who donated billions and billions and a huge percentage of their wealth. I mean, they should be saluted, the Americans. I mean, nobody can, I mean, maybe we have differences in politics, but we are agreeing on an agreement and with these great people. I mean, I have to salute them. So, I mean, the Arabs, unfortunately, no one, I heard, they gave a percentage of his wealth into poverty or into charity. I mean, I haven't. And I donated 20% of Al Habtoor Group on the charity. You know, it is owned by a foundation, which is, you know, I am the chairman of that, and I am controlling that myself, and we are helping a lot. We don't differentiate between color or religion. We are helping as much as we can within our limitation. We are not government. We are not, I mean, whatever we can do. Recently, I am studying that we want to invite important people who has the feeling of a human being. The people who feel that we have to rescue the world by lifting and helping the poor people all over the world, in Asia and the Arab world, in America, and the homeless. I mean, more than 7,000 people homeless in New York City only. We want to help these people. And we want to help people in the Arab world, Muslim world. I mean, if you go to Europe, you'll see people sleeping under the sewage pipe, under the under this. These people, they need, of course, I cannot claim I can do it myself. I cannot claim we'll do it in this life. I cannot claim, you know, I have to be very transparent and honest. But I'm thinking to invite who claims that he want to help the poor, he want to help. I will invite them. I will send them private jet to bring them and host them here. And we talk and we do something that really we can help. And easy, if we implement the Constitution of God, we can help the world. Constitution of God is easy. That, I mean, a Muslim can pay 2.5% as zakah. Imagine that if we pay 2.5% all the Muslim, no need for the West. We will help all the West. And this is, we have to put it as a rule and regulation. I mean, I'm suggesting that to the people. The rule. I mean, there is in the Jews, they have 10% more than Muslims on their as zakah as well. But one friend of mine, Israeli, I met him in Europe, he's a great friend, and he said, even there's 10%, but we play around. You never pay a penny.
I'm going to open the floor for questions. We have to keep it short, so maybe we'll have one or two questions. But I do have one more question. As a businessman, Sheikh Khalaf, there's really gloomy perception about next year. Given the oil prices, given the costly wars in the region, a lot of people are expecting another recession. As somebody who is probably you have your hand on the pulse more than anybody else in this room, what can you tell us what to expect next year?
Well, I can't talk about my country, United Arab Emirates. I think United Arab Emirates, they are clever to manage our cash flow. I mean, when I say cash flow, I'm talking about when I manage my own company. I mean, if there is a gap, it should be filled on that time. And I think my government is doing very well, and they are filling the gaps if there is any small gap, and they know how to do it, and we have a lot of reserve. Yeah, but I cannot talk about other GCC countries.
Right. Do we have any questions from the floor? Yes. Do we have a mic? Right. Let's start with Walid, and then Isa, and then Ali.
Assalamu alaikum. Sheikh, I've attended so many conferences, so many speeches. I've never heard such a direct and unfiltered speech like you did today. So I really salute you for this.
Thank you, sir.
The only thing really, let me be blunt, just like you've been in your speech. The only thing I don't agree with you is you wanted the media to combat Trump and highlight. I think it's the opposite. Let's just ignore him. Anything he says, let's not report it whatsoever. I think the only reason he has some polls, a high percentage in polls, because the media loves what he says. It's different. It's not what the people are used to. He's saying things that's extraordinary, and that's what the media loves. So I think ignoring him probably could be the best weapon to let him lose. It's only a view, and I would like to hear your view about it.
I think I agree. Sorry, I agree with you 100%. I said this many times. Even I wrote an article. I was blaming Al Arabiya of putting Hassan Nasrallah and other on the TV. Ignore us, the bad and the criminal. I agree. Thank you.
May I just say, the media is like America. We're blamed if we do, blamed if we don't. So next question, please.
Assalamu alaikum. There was a mention that a lot of the radicalization that is being achieved by ISIS or Al-Qaeda is because of poverty. Whereas specifically with ISIS, it's not really the case. And there's a lot of people from my hometown, Saudis, who are actually well off and have joined ISIS. Now, the question and the question that I would like to ask is just like combating poverty, which is very noble and very important. I think there is a need for think tanks. Where is our Harvard? Where is our Stanford? Where is our Cambridge? Where is our Oxford? The Muslim world lacks knowledge, lacks brains, and I don't see any initiative. All of the initiatives, all of the charity initiatives, it's about building mosques or feeding people. But what about the ideology? We're facing an ideology crisis in the Muslim world, and I don't see any effort, either on the government level or on the private level, where this needs to be changed because we are reaching very critical danger. I'd like to hear your views on that.
You do have an education initiative, ولا لا, Sheikh?
I agree with you. First of all, when I was speaking about poverty and we have to do this because I don't mean Daesh. Daesh, they are well-to-do and they are well-funded and financed and supported in all areas, financially, military, technology. As yesterday, the debate, for example, they have IT people more advanced than the CIA or FBI. This was yesterday the debate, if you heard in the CNN. And but education is the most important. I agree 100% with you. I personally supporting a lot of research in universities like Illinois College in Illinois. and Harvard for medical research now, and here in Dubai, and in Cairo in Egypt, and now we are talking with MIT also for medical research. All of this and science, and I'm supporting, I mean, a lot of personally, I'm talking about, I don't like to talk, but I have to tell you that. I mean, a lot of an American University of Cairo, for example, last time when this criminal slaughtered 21 Qibti Christian Egyptian, I went to the American University and I sponsor, you know, I mean, by, I paid, I mean, more than $10 million to the university to take care of the Qibt children as a priority if they have children. If they don't have children, then to give it to the outskirts of Cairo who is in need. I think that's enough, huh?
We have one last question from Ali Khudairi.
Sheikh Khalaf, good evening. I'm Ali Khudairi, a former American diplomat, now a businessman. First, thank you for your gracious hospitality, and to Sheikh Zayed for building such a wonderful multicultural society here in the UAE. I don't think, frankly, we could have had this discussion in many other Arab countries. I say this as an American, as a Muslim, as an Arab. My question to you is the problem, I think as Muslims have a problem in the Muslim world. For many years, people blamed Americans or the legacy of colonialism or imperialism or the United States for the Middle East problems. But the reality is that more Muslims have died now at the hands of fellow Muslims than Americans or Israelis or others have killed. How do we as Muslims solve these problems within the Muslim world? What is going to restore peace and dignity and good governance and stability back to the region? And how can leading industrialists like yourself help contribute to that cause? Thank you.
Thank you. Well, let me explain you, because there is no transparency between the leadership and the people. In my country here, United Arab Emirates, we born and raised, as the Americans said, born and raised with our leader, like the former Sheikh Zayed Allah Yarhamah with Sheikh Rashid Allah Yarhamahum Jami'an. And we born, you know, together with them. We were, our fathers and us, we were advisor without payment. We are advisor without title. We are advisor, we discuss things before we do. It is transparent. We are like one family, a tribe. In the other country, the problem, what's happening in the Arab world, which is, I agree with you 100%, there is a barrier between the leader and the people. There should not be a barrier. We should not, I mean, this is the difference in United Arab Emirates. There is transparency. We can see our president. We can call our president. We can see him and tell him what's wrong and right. And we, you know, this is the difference. And we are well respected, and we respect them. And always I say that in my TV interview on this. I said, we people of UAE, and especially the businessmen and our government, we are parallel working together. They cannot succeed without us, and we cannot succeed without them. We are partner on the growth. We are partner of success and safety of my country. This is the difference. I agree with you. There is a lot of Arab countries. Nobody, they cannot listen to anybody. I wrote so many confidential letters to a lot of Arab leaders to warn them about the militia, Iraqi and Syrian and Lebanese and the Houthi, which is fueled by Iran, the biggest enemy of the Arabs. And nobody come back to me and see what's happening with the Houthi. They are fighting us, and we are losing our people. But soon we will liberate, inshallah, Yemen. Thank you, sir.
Sheikh Khalaf, I do want, it's been a fantastic, candid debate. I do have one last question for you.
But your question doesn't finish.
I always say that. Somebody's clapping. You're not going to get dinner.
Yes, very good.
Sheikh Khalaf, as I said earlier, I've had the privilege of meeting your family. I know on your WhatsApp you have a beautiful picture of your grandson. You wrote once that with great wealth comes great responsibility, and with that great wealth also comes great power. If you had one wish or one project you want to do for your grandson to make sure the world is a better place for him, what would that one project be?
This is very difficult. Now, before we go to grandson, let us go to our sons. We want them only. The most important to me that our children, not only my son or my grandson or my granddaughter or my daughter, we want them to be loyal to the land, to the earth of the country, to believe the honor is the land. This is, you have to be honored and you love your land more than you say, my wife or my mother, this. The land is your mother. We want them to believe in responsibility. They love their country, to protect their country, hand to hand with their leaders. This is the most important to me, and I will be proud to sleep. Money, I believe money can make a lot of things. I don't believe the people say money is nothing. Money is make a lot of things, provided you use it on the right thing. Money can damage things. But if you use it, مثل ما يقول في القرآن الكريم يقول إن من أموالكم وأزواجكم عدو لكم وأبنائكم حتى الأزواج صح ولا لا؟ الأزواج يعني الزوجة وليس الزوج لأن نزل على محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم القرآن وليس الرجل هذه ندافع عنها. Therefore, if we use the fund and we take care and shaped our children, our grandchildren, let them love to be proud as an Arabs, to be proud in Arabs, not only to say I am a Muslim, that's not enough to me. I am Arab Muslim. I cannot say I am a Muslim only. I am an Arab Muslim and I am proud of that. And there is a lot of Muslims in the world, but we want quality. We need a quality Muslim. We don't want to go a lot of to get Muslim. Once one Yemeni came to my house and he said, I was in New York and he's from Buffalo and wearing Yemeni clothes in Ramadan. And he said, I did a great job. I was in the train. I saw one, used to be a drug dealer, etc. I converted him to Islam. I kept quiet. And he said, once I was walking I don't know where, in New York, and I saw one, he was a criminal, etc., and he was from prison, and I converted to Islam. I said to him, can you shut up? Yeah. I said, we don't want this. We have enough Muslims like that. We don't want them. We need quality. I said, go and convince George W. Bush. I said, go convince George W. Bush. Go convince Condoleezza Rice. Go convince, I said, Hillary Clinton to be a Muslim. I don't want all this rubbish. Thank you very much.
Sheikh Khalaf, before you leave, I just want to say it's very rare to have somebody speak so candidly. It's very rare to have somebody speak honestly. On behalf of the Arabiya English team, we would be honored if you accept an award from us as Columnist of the Year for matching our values and for saying things as they are. Thank you very much, Sheikh Khalaf. Thank you.
عشان ليه؟ يلا السلام عليكم.